This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotatonetwork.com.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I am Iron Man. That's a big point.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
You are a toy!
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Why so serious?
The city's flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
And welcome to World War G, episode 262. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
Yeah, welcome back to what's arguably been probably the worst month in human history.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're on the last day, though. We're recording this on the 31st. I'm seeing a lot of memes and stuff saying that, basically life will get back to normal in April. And like, why are you putting April as the deadline? Like, what makes you think that April is going to be any better than March was?
Oh.
You know?
Come on, Troy. At least be optimistic a little bit.
Yeah, no. I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
And chances are y'all are going to be hunkering down till probably June. Would be my guess.
When, like, the summer heat kind of starts baking away these germs?
When the cold and flu season ends and, things aren't getting passed around so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Probably May, June. That's my
more
guess.
realistic.
That's more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, so you'd posted something recently on Facebook that I was looking at, and since it's the end of world, it's kind of the end of times, and we have to pick our favorites here. You'd posted this thing where you're like, all right, from each category, you'd picked one movie. If you had to watch for the rest of your life, that was the movie that you were going to watch. And some of these were like super difficult. It was
very
like
hard.
Sophie's Choice kind of a deal. I'm like, how do you pick?
Yeah, from each genre.
Yes.
So there's how many are there? 20 something. I don't know.
There's a decent amount of them.
Yeah. Anyway, but you mentioned that you kind of wanted to go through these, so
Yeah, because I'd done this. I did this list as well.
So you just want to kind of go
Back and forth.
back and forth?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you start us off then. One Western movie.
I had to go with the 2010 True Grit. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It would be one of those movies that I think will like definitely hold up. I do like the original and the classic for its own, but this new one and with that girl with the acting in it, like it's fantastic.
Haley Steinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was good. That's actually what Sean picked too.
Really?
Yeah, he picked the remake of True Grit.
I could have already guessed what yours was going to be.
Maverick?
Yeah.
Yeah. I freaking love that movie.
It is a good choice.
Yeah, it's just... It's
got
so...
action,
it
drama,
is.
comedy.
It's good. It's a genuinely good Western movie. And I love movies about poker.
Yeah.
There's another one on my list that's going to show up that's about poker. I don't know what it is. I just love movies about poker. And I like the fact that it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
How Mel Gibson says, now you keep this under your hat, you hear?
Mm-hmm.
News travels fast in the Old West as he walks away.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's just kind of funny to me.
That, and I also... I don't know, it's weird to say that, like, Mel Gibson, because he had some decent movies back in the day.
He did, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He was a huge star.
Yeah.
There for a while. He was like my mom's, like, big crush.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My mom's was MacGyver.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say no to the mullet.
Right?
You can't say no to the mullet. Yeah, my mom's office computer, she had for years a picture of Mel Gibson as her wallpaper.
That's awesome.
Years.
Number 2, monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
One monster movie. I went with Deep Blue Sea.
Really?
Yeah. I for
Interesting.
whatever reason, I know how you love poker movies, and I think
Yeah.
it's because you're playing the person as much as you're playing the cards, right?
Right.
Maybe that's probably the reason. For me, I don't know what it is, but I love shark movies.
Okay.
The Meg, Deep Blue Sea, 47 Meters Down,
Jaws.
Yeah. All these movies, for whatever reason, I classify that as a monster movie because for me, a lot of these other monster movies, they kind of get over the top and it seems way too larger than life and they're just running around on a blue screen.
Mm-hmm. Although sharks aren't monsters, man. They're just being animals. That's my animal right hippie guy.
Okay. I'm I
Just in
don't
case you
recognize
were
that
wondering.
from Jaws.
No.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't appear in Jaws. People are getting eaten, man. You can't keep the beach open.
That stupid mayor.
Yeah. Who would do that? What kind of politician would
Go against
what everybody is saying? Go against the professionals. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's a movie. I mean, that stuff could never happen. Mine is Kong Skull Island.
Ooh, that's a solid choice.
Mm-hmm. And the way I picked a lot of these is what movie did after I saw it am I always thinking about? That I always go back to.
Yeah.
I always think, I should watch that movie again. That was a really good movie.
They kind of reference. You're well, it was no Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but
yeah.
I chose it off of one of the movies that I'm always talking to my friends or recommending to my friends.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
and what I liked about Kong Skull Island is you didn't always see Kong. You saw him just enough. You saw him quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overdone.
And
I like that.
Reflection of other people's shades, you know, and other ways. I like that as well. It seemed more practical effects.
Yeah. Next is fantasy movie.
I went with Pan's Labyrinth.
Nice.
I really thoroughly enjoy that movie. I went with actually you'll notice there's a couple of foreign films in here that I don't know.
All right, look at you, Mr. Pretentious.
I love I have a soft spot for indie films and these
Oh yes, I love indie films.
I do.
Any film where you have to read the subtitle, I love it. That's my pretentious film snob
As I said,
character.
Pan's Labyrinth, I actually held up my pinky. I don't know if you noticed or not. But.
And actually, once upon a time, when I was thinking about doing a bowling league for us, our name was going to be Pin's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Which,
still a great name.
Yeah, I personally thought that was pretty clever.
And you could have a bowling balls in his hands.
Oh, nice!
Right? Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
With eyes on the bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. My fantasy movie, Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, it's a classic. I mean, it's one of the most quotable films ever. And it's such a classic fantasy film because you have, swords and giants and magic and kings and wizards and it's great.
And it's crazy because it's a story within a story.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you forget that there's a narrator that's telling this story to this little kid.
And I cannot recommend this enough. If you haven't listened or read to Carrie Elwes's book on that, I think it's called As You Wish, go and listen to it. Actually, no, I would actually recommend you listen to it.
Really?
The audiobook, yes. Because it's read by him, and he brings in a bunch of cast members from the movie. It's fantastic.
Fantasy-tastic.
Yep.
Action movie. I went with John Wick.
Oh, okay. The most action-y of action films.
Right? You can't get much more action-y than that. I love how choreographed it is, And although it was difficult because I had to separate 1, 2, and 3 because they kind of blend together, just as far as like the storyline goes, because it picks up right where the last one left off. But I do love in the first one, just the gunplay. He seems like such a professional, and he's got it down to like a science.
Yeah.
Which like I really appreciate when like actors go above and beyond to actually make it seem more realistic and believable.
Sure. Yeah. Mine, and I could have put this movie in a lot of categories.
Yeah.
But mine was Avengers Endgame. I mean, you know, what can you say about it that we haven't already said on many episodes of this?
Right.
I mean, it's just an amazing, perfect culmination of 10 years of superhero films. It's just, you know. Anyway, we've gone over that movie to death, so I'm not gonna
Thriller.
beat a dead Thanos.
I like that.
Thank you.
Just make sure you aim for the head.
Yes, of course.
Thriller movie. I went with Nightcrawler.
Oh, nice.
That's a really solid movie.
Yeah.
I recommended it to one of my friends just the other day, and I rewatched it because I hadn't seen it in like a year or two, and it still holds up. Man, that is such a... Ooh. You've seen it before, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's such a dick move, what he ends up doing at the end.
Yes, it is.
I'm just like, but it's one of those movies that it sticks with you, and you're like, wow, like, I mean, how far will somebody go, you know?
Yeah, there are some movies that I can distinctly remember having... I remember how I felt as I was sitting in the theater watching it.
Yeah.
And that's one of those movies. And like Black Swan is another one. Like I had like this visceral reaction watching that movie,
which doesn't happen like too often.
No,
with
it
films.
doesn't.
No.
For me, my thriller was a very recent one, The Invisible Man.
See, I almost went with that one because it's a great movie.
It is really good.
Even from the get go, like my heart was in my chest.
Yeah, and that's where your heart
throat.
usually is.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
it's somewhere.
And that's why I threw it on, because I don't remember a film that in recent memory that just grabbed me from minute one and just didn't let go the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's what that movie did. Like, it's so suspenseful.
And she does such a fantastic job just like talking to nothing.
Yeah, talking to nothing. Yeah. And just the camera work and oh man, it's so good. Horror movie.
This was probably the hardest category because 1/3 of my movies are probably just like horror movies.
Right.
So I was just like, how do I choose? But for this one, I went with Train to Busan.
Oh, okay, yeah. Talked about that one before.
Zombie. Say what?
Said you've talked about that one before.
Yeah. Such a solid zombie movie. It's got it all. I don't know what more I could say about it, but if you haven't already seen it, it's worth watching. It's on Netflix. Like, you're home anyways, you might as well watch this movie.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do.
Right?
My horror movie is a movie that basically breaks down and deconstructs every horror movie that we've ever seen. The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you are a horror movie fan and, you know, you see that a lot of horror movies are kind of the same and they kind of follow certain rules and instructions, this movie breaks it down as to why they do that.
Yeah.
And it's
fascinating to be on the other end of things sometimes.
And it's gory. It has those horror moments, but it's funny.
Mm-hmm. It's got that campy horror, cabin in the woods kind of a feel to it. Yeah.
It's just it's so good.
And even like a lot of the people will say that they didn't much care for the ending, but I loved it just because I thought it was so perfect with it being like no matter what you do, you can't win.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen, and that's basically Cthulhu in a nutshell.
Pretty much.
Right? So the biggest, baddest creature, demon, whatever, like that's how they end it. I'm like, oh, that's a perfect ending.
And a guy getting stabbed, run through the chest by a unicorn.
Right.
It's perfection. It's perfection on film. You can't see that anywhere else. Yeah, slasher film.
Maniac, 2012 version with
Okay.
Elijah Wood. Have you
All
seen
right.
that one before?
I haven't yet.
So he plays this down to earth taxidermy mannequin kid. Like, he's inherited his family's business, but it's all shot from his perspective. So for the most part, you just see his hands, but you're almost placed in the like mind of the killer. Because you're seeing, you're only seeing his hands as he's like hiding underneath like a car, or he's going around, or like taking. Well,
Interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting on a psychological perspective, but it's also it's got that gore factor because he does take his victims, the women, their hair off and puts them onto mannequins, and then starts talking and having these like conversations with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
He doesn't
bizarre.
have sex with a mannequin, does he?
No,
Okay.
no, other stuff, but no sex.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
it's an interesting take on a slasher film, but I thought it was really well done.
Okay.
Even the director, he's they do it pretty seamlessly because they had a body cam that they were filming the majority of the movie, like this huge camera. So he's even doing some of the scenes because he had like a lot of the times he doesn't use words, just his hands and his mannerisms and stuff like tell a lot of the story. So he had to like step in and help out.
That actually reminds me of another film that I saw. It was a random red box that I got.
Yeah.
Called VHS. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing. Like, this killer is going around filming himself doing these kidnappings and killing stuff, and you never see him.
Right.
You just see from his perspective, and it's unnerving.
It is because like a lot of the times you kind of empathize with them, like,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait, why am I doing this? This is a killer. Why am I?
And that's stuff that could actually happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of stuff that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Not
serial
these huge zombies or unicorns and
No. That stuff's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's a classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I actually
The
own this
original.
movie on VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it dozens of times. It's campy, it's dumb, but I mean, it sets a tone. I mean, Michael Myers' Halloween, that kind of opened the door.
Right.
But Nightmare on Elm Street is the one that kind of kicked the door down and basically set the tone for all the rest of these slasher films that came after it.
Absolutely. He is also the most terrifying character that you can play against in Dead by Daylight, the video game series. Oh yeah, because you don't see him, you can just kind of hear him, and as he gets closer, you start hearing that 1, 2, Freddy's gun, like, and you don't know where he's coming from, so you're like trying to run around. But then like once he puts you into the dream, like this sleep, then you can see him, but then he can also see you, so then you have to like run around even faster. I don't know.
All right.
But it's pretty terrifying.
All right. Interesting.
Mystery movies.
Mm-hmm.
See, this one I almost went with the movie Frequency. But I went with Memento.
Okay.
I really like this movie, and if you haven't seen it, like, it's worth a watch. He is trying to find his wife's killer, but he has this rare disorder that he can only remember. Like, he remembers like long-term stuff, but the last 24 hours are pretty much a blank to him. So he's making Polaroids, and he's tattooing himself, and he's writing on his arms like, "Hey, don't trust this person. Hey, don't." As he like the story develops, he starts piecing stuff together, but it's difficult because you basically restart and have to start from like, zero all over again.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one either. For me, my mystery movie is Rear Window.
Ooh, a good one.
Yep. Classic Hitchcockian film.
Mm-hmm.
Probably his movie I've seen the most.
Okay.
And I recently rewatched it within the last year because Sean and I were doing our classic movie podcast. We haven't done it in a while, but the world's on fire right now, so we got other things to do. But yeah, it's really good, and it's very apt, especially right now, since we all have to stay inside.
Yeah.
And it gives you a sense of kind of claustrophobia, and Hitchcock is a master of building suspense and
it
building
makes you
the thrills
and like who's living next to you kind of a deal, right?
Yeah.
You've got that feeling like you've kind of created this own little world and this little bubble that you live in, but if you're looking outside, your windows, there's whole other things going on.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody had done that before, but Hitchcock uses the effect where it looks like you're actually looking through the binoculars.
Yeah.
That Jimmy Stewart is. And so he's kind of panning back, and you're trying to look at stuff in the screen and trying to see what he's seeing. And then the killer pops up and he's looking right at you. Yeah.
When they can do that to where you're wishing and wanting them to just pan over here, like this is where I'd be looking, like look over further here, do this. It's what you can't see that's almost more terrifying than what's on the screen sometimes.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, drama movie. This one was tough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go to IMDb and kind of look at their 100 best drama movies.
I went with 3 Billboards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Woody Harrelson's performance and like the whole cast and crew, even Peter Dinklage, his like cameo, I thought was like awesome.
Sam Rockwell freaking kills in that movie.
Oh yeah,
he's so good. I mean, everyone's good. Man,
he just goes into that office and just beats the hell out of dude, throws him out the window. Yeah, I was like, all right, this guy's like off his rocker.
Yeah, there's like off his Rockwell.
Yeah.
There's no one better at playing a dick than Sam Rockwell.
No, there really, yeah.
I mean, that one, Iron Man 2, I mean, he can be such an asshole.
Even when he's, like, he knows he's in the wrong, but they bring in that new guy, like the head sheriff, and he's just like a complete ass to him, and
yeah.
Until he kind of gets put in his place, which was great.
Yeah, which is very satisfying. Yes. For me, it was There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
Man, speaking of great actors, Daniel Day-Lewis in that film, I probably think about that movie and something in that movie probably several times a week.
Really?
Yeah, ever since I saw it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just pops into my head. Like, I drank your milkshake, or, covered in oil, or and being all maniacal, or beating that guy to death at the end with a bowling pin, or just something will pop into my head with that movie.
You get mad at one of your coworkers, you're thinking about that scene.
Beating him to death with a bowling pin. Yeah.
Science fiction?
Yes.
For this one, I went with District 9.
Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. And there is a little bit of a learning curve for the accent. But
right.
It's so
the
great.
South African accent?
Yeah. I don't know, there's just something about it, and like I kind of wish that there was like a District 10. I kind of wanted to see, you know what I mean? Like, they left it on a pretty big cliffhanger.
I heard there was rumors and talks of a District 10, but
no,
I haven't seen anything come to pass. So for me, several movies have a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
So for my science fiction movie, I went with The Avengers.
Okay.
Cause it's a superhero film, but it's also an action film.
And you've got these aliens from space.
It's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That was for a long time my favorite film.
Yeah.
Just completely. Like it was just my favorite film because I had never seen up to that point where they brought all these characters together that were in all these separate films. Now everybody does it.
Right.
Now it's a thing.
Yeah.
But then back in 2012, it wasn't, and it was cool. And again, one of those films I can remember the feeling I had of seeing all these characters on screen together.
They do that. They do that shot.
Yep.
Pan around them. I was like, oh, this is gonna be epic.
Yeah. It's great, and I still watch that movie once a year, if not more. Yeah. Next up, we have comedy movie.
I went with, it's so difficult for me to find like a comedy movie that I thoroughly enjoy from start to finish, because a lot of the times they had like funny parts in it, but overall it was just okay.
Yeah.
But for me, Shaun of the Dead, like, I can't think of a bad part in that movie. I loved it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I try to think of a movie where it just made me laugh from start to finish, and it was the kind of laugh where I couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. And for me, it was the first time I saw Liar Liar.
Really?
With Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Huh.
I nearly died watching that film because I was laughing so hard.
That's me. It's kind of an interesting choice.
Yeah. I mean, he's the king of comedy, Jim Carrey. Maybe
was.
Yeah, I was gonna say not so much now. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is just Jim Carrey at the height of his powers. Just.
It'll be interesting to see who takes that mantle on next, because you had like Jim Carrey, and then you had Adam Sandler, and now you've got like Kevin Hart.
I was gonna say Kevin Hart,
right?
Yeah.
Perhaps like Ryan Reynolds might be in the mix a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. But then like it'll be interesting to see who actually, comes out next.
It's gonna be Adam Driver.
Really?
You watch. All of a sudden, he's just gonna come around with a string of wacky comedies.
Yeah.
He's going to star with a monkey, and it's going to be a road trip. Him and this monkey going across the country. They got to go find a Hope Diamond.
This has potential.
I don't know. I don't know. Just saying whatever came to my head.
Musicals? Did you have a difficult time picking just one?
No.
Really?
Because there's only one musical that pops in my head.
When I say like musical, that's the first one that you think of?
Yep.
For myself, I had to narrow it down a little bit, but every single year, my family, we always do this tradition where it's called Tree Treat Night, where we would decorate the tree back in the day and have treats. We'd each pick out a treat, and we'd watch A White Christmas.
Oh, nice.
So I'd kind of like to, if I had to only pick one musical, I'd kind of like to keep that tradition alive.
Sisters. There was never such devoted sisters.
And it's so dang funny because he's rubbing his arm and all those different like songs in there. Snow, like I can pretty much like quote that movie verbatim. Yeah. I've probably seen it, 30 plus times.
Yeah. My family watches it a lot too. Actually, I think it's sitting right on. Is that stacked there?
Yeah.
Yep, it's right there.
There you go.
It's one of my mom's go-to Christmas flicks. For me, Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Yep. Ever since I first saw the play in high school in drama class, I've been obsessed with that musical.
Really?
Yeah, it's just it's so dark and twisted and just.
You sir, too sir, welcome to the great.
Yeah, it's great. Johnny Depp, not the best singer in the world.
Yeah.
But that one combined with, Tim Burton and everything, it just fit perfectly, and it was.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It was a match.
Yeah. Before Sweeney Todd, I would have said probably Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
But yeah, Sweeney Todd for sure.
You ever seen the musical Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
The musical?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
They did it at the Ziegfeld at this local theater last year. It was great, actually. It was
really?
It was hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how you'd be able to check it out or see it, but it's up there. It's a good one.
I'll Google it. Maybe I can find something. Next we have Disaster Movie. I'm not big on disaster films.
Neither am
so
I.
This one was tough.
Right? I actually did have to Google this, to look
Mm-hmm.
up best disaster movies of all time. And it was weird because they put, San Andreas and Armageddon and some of these other ones. I'm like, eh. But the one that really stuck out to me, Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when Will Smith was good.
Is it the height of his powers, just like Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
They're ruling Hollywood.
Right?
And now Jim Carrey's gone crazy and Will Smith is a YouTube star.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in, folks.
It's crazy times.
For me, I put Twister.
Okay.
I've watched it since, probably in the past few years. Doesn't quite hold up.
Right.
Especially on a smaller screen. It's something that needs to be seen on the big screen.
Right.
But
I actually
it's
saw this one in
still
the
fun.
Cinedome. So
I think I might have as well.
really,
Yeah.
shaking the whole place. It was terrifying.
And that for a while at school, everybody was like tornado experts.
Right.
Just like when Jurassic Park came out, everybody was dinosaur experts.
I still with that movie, I still love it when they go running into that barn. That's a funny scene, and I even think it's kind of cool where they're chasing these storms, and they finally come up with a device that can actually track and get inside the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
There's not too many good disaster movies that I really like.
Now, disaster movies as a whole are never meant to be really taken seriously.
Right.
Like they try to do it with San Andreas, but it no.
What is that one? There was a one back in the day. Came out in the 1980s or no 90s. With the lava, where the dude's has to step in the lava and throws the other person across.
Was it Dante's Peak?
Dante's Inferno? Something like that? I think it was.
Pierce Brosnan was in one, I remember.
Right.
And I think that was called Dante's Peak.
They had two that came out around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember there was in Dante's Peak, I remember that an old woman, she was pulling a boat in scalding hot water.
Mm-hmm.
And
it kept getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah. And it was a very emotional scene. She came out and her legs were all burned off, and it was I remember that scarring me as a kid. Still think about that to this day.
Dante's Peak, yes, that was the one with Pierce Brosnan.
Makes my butthole tight.
But I swear there was another one that was
Oh, there was a volcano film that came out the exact same time as that one.
That's the one that I'm thinking of, though.
And I can't remember what it was.
Because that dude, they were on the subway, and he had to, jump across, but he couldn't make it, and then he had to throw the other person. That haunts me to my core.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hang on, I'm Googling volcano movies. Dante's Peak. Oh, it came out. Volcano!
Really?
That was the name of the movie.
Oh, jeez. Really?
Yeah, it came out in
Oh,
1997.
it had a volcano in it.
Is
It
that
was,
one?
Yeah.
Is that one with the volcano? What was it called? Yeah, it was Volcano.
Okay, it came out the same year.
Same year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're stupid.
No, that was Tommy Lee. Oh, that was it. Okay, with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, Volcano. Wow. Good job.
That was awesome.
That was funny.
Romantic movies.
Yes.
This one I prefer. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I actually call them action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple times.
I had to go with Stranger Than Fiction. I recently watched this one again, and
with Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it when you've got an actor like Jim Carrey or somebody that steps out of something that they normally would do, and it works out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's singing the whole world, the whole wide world, that song, that hits you in the feels.
Okay. For mine, I don't think a lot of people saw this movie, but Austin Land.
Never saw it. Yeah.
With Kerry Russell. It's about this woman who goes over to England to have this Jane Austen experience, real life experience. And I don't know what it is about that movie, but I connected with it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. No, I kind of get that. It's almost like was it Walter Mitty kind of a thing where, like you kind of live this, not mundane, but you live this like normal life, and then to like branch out and to do something like that's out of your comfort zone. Like, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah. But it was really funny for a romantic movie. Really funny. Next we have independent movie.
For this one,
You're Mr. Independent.
it was really difficult to choose.
Mr. Independent film.
But the one I had to go with was Parasite.
I got the pinky up. I like
Yeah.
it.
I thoroughly enjoyed Parasite. I
still need to see that.
It was difficult because I was also thinking about like Donnie Darko, and I was thinking about like Lost in Translation, but Parasite really, really stuck out to me.
Well, I gotta be honest. I had to Google independent films. 'Cause I wasn't sure which ones were.
Yeah.
And I came across this one. I didn't realize it was an independent movie. Whiplash.
Oh,
Was independent.
I rewatched that one like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
That one is so good because it really reminds me, and I don't know if it reminds you, but of middle school, of Mr. Monroe in middle school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it really does.
This
it
guy
might be
has
the bald head. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy has a very short temper.
And demands perfection.
And loves jazz.
Yes, that, and he will like flip on a dime. He would flip on a dime, like, oh, now your first chair, and like for the weirdest reason. Because I remember me, Anayat, Megan Jones, like we were all fighting for like first chair as a trumpet player, and then like she gave the shittiest performance ever, but like she got first chair.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I don't know.
And for me, it was always me and Tiffany
Payne,
for trombone,
right?
who would get first chair.
And like when you weren't first chair,
It was cutthroat, man.
Oh yeah, it was. Band back in the day, man. Yeah, it was cutthroat. But like it made you push even harder and actually take your instrument home and practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like because a lot of the times, because we had to write down like how many hours we practiced that week. I'm like, I don't know, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like just make up stuff. But like when you weren't first chair, you're like, oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
So you'd go practice and come back with like a piece. Yeah.
Then that time that the proudest moment of my short band career in middle school, I got called up to advanced band. Me and Daniel Martinez, we got called up to advanced band. It was like going up to the big leagues.
He played the sax, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Kind of a bigger kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he played the sax.
Takes you back.
Yeah, it does.
Simpler time.
War movie.
Oh, hey, I was gonna say actually about Whiplash really quickly.
Yes.
That it's weird to me, but it's put out by Blumhouse.
Is it?
In case you're wondering, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can mix it up apparently.
Apparently. Has one of the best ending drum solos in a film ever.
Yeah.
It just goes on, and you're just like enthralled the whole time.
Well, that and his professor was trying to be vindictive and trying to get him back and one-up him, and then he just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna do my thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And that one scene, there's like a scene where he's like, he lost relationships because he was so driven and he wanted this so badly, and like he's bleeding as he's like drumming to try to get that one, I don't know, like a paradiddle or something, right? That he was trying to get.
Paradiddle. I haven't heard that since band class. Yep.
That's a paradiddle.
That's a paradiddle.
Yeah.
War movie.
For this one, I went with an anime.
Really?
Yeah. Grave of Fireflies. Have you heard Grave of the Fireflies? This is basically during World War II, there was a fire bombing that took place over in Japan, and it just like devastated the whole entire country. But like you've got this teenage boy that's now responsible for his little daughter or his little sister who's only like a couple of years old, and it's heart wrenching. It's like one of those movies. Like I love it because the animation is so gorgeous, but it's heart wrenching and it gets you right in the feels. Okay. I can't think of a movie that I've cried more in than this movie.
Grave of the Fireflies, from 1988.
Yeah.
It's got 8.5 on IMDb, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Huh. All right.
I almost went with like U571 or like Das Boot.
Das Boot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to go with this one. Well, or The Patriot. That would probably be up there pretty close too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Speaking of Mel Gibson.
Right?
For me, this one very recent, 1917.
Okay.
I like that it is a war film, but seen through the eyes of these two guys that were not like on the front lines.
Right.
They had this mission to go deliver this letter, and you saw the war, or you heard the war going on around them,
okay.
But you never actually really saw. I mean, a couple of times, but there wasn't actually like too much wariness action going on.
They kind of saw the aftermath of it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they were coming from behind, so they're seeing like all the troops are further up, right? So they're just seeing like the ramifications of these different other battles and stuff.
Yeah.
But wasn't
climbing
it also,
over dead bodies and stuff?
Wasn't it also shot in a different way where you're not 100% sure how it's all connected?
Yeah, it's supposedly just one continuous shot.
Okay.
Which it is. I obviously it's a camera trick, and I saw a couple times where I was like, that was probably a cut right there.
Yeah.
But no, you're supposed to believe that this is taking place in real time.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's all just one shot, but it's really good. It's really good. Next, Bond movie. I'm interested to hear what you said on this. You're a big James Bond fan. You're a Bond head.
I really am.
Bond
Especially,
nut?
I would say probably still Daniel Craig is probably the best Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Like the closest to what I picture of Bond.
Yes, agreed.
I do like, because he's got the suave debonair side of it, but he's also got the action. They kind of twisted Bond a little bit to make him more of what they did with Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Skyfall. I mean, Casino Royale was right there. It's difficult to pick, but Skyfall, where they're out on the locks and where he's setting up for these people,
and you kind of learn more about James Bond and his origin and
than any other movie has ever shown before, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, I also went with a Daniel Craig, Casino Royale.
Okay.
Again, poker. I love poker films.
Yeah.
I did write on here Casino Royale / Skyfall because I really couldn't decide, but since you chose Skyfall, I'll choose Casino Royale. I just watched this again recently, and yeah, it still holds up.
Yeah.
It came out in 2006, which is hard to believe, but it's still a Bond film. It still kind of follows kind of the tropes of certain of Bond films, but at the same time, it just kind of revamps Bond completely. And you're right. I think Daniel Craig is a great James Bond.
Yeah.
I've read a couple James Bond novels, and James Bond was never supposed to be this suave, debonair guy.
Right.
He was, like they said in Casino Royale, he's a blunt instrument. That's what he's there to do.
They bring him in when all else fails, and they need somebody to get the job done. He's going to do it.
Yep. And then last but not least, superhero movie.
How can you choose? I did make a choice. Okay, I narrowed it down to see if you can guess which one I went with. Okay, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Logan, Captain America, The First Avenger,
Logan.
and Watchmen.
You picked Logan.
I almost did, but I went with Watchmen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know you really like Logan.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've like rewatched it a couple of times in the noir style.
Yeah.
It's even great. Like that.
Okay.
Dang it. Now I'm almost wanting to pick Logan. Nope, I'm sticking with it. I'm going with Watchmen.
Stick with your guns.
Yep.
Me, I wrote on here, I honestly can't decide.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the podcast...
Yeah. So, go with your gut, Troy. Go with it. Just...
I've already said Avengers, and I don't want to say the same movie again.
Winter Soldier?
Okay.
Civil War?
No. This isn't going to be... It's actually not in the MCU.
What?
I know. Crazy.
Oh, man.
Well, neither is yours.
Yeah.
I
know, I'm like all shocked. What?
How dare you?
How dare you? Go against the MCU?
Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Believe
with Doc Ock?
Yeah. Even though there are now better superhero films than that one, that was kind of the first one that really showed what a superhero film could be.
Right.
Like, it really started to take itself seriously, and I think the effects were really good. And
besides them busting in on Mary Jane, or no, Aunt May.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Like, ah!
Yeah. Oh, no, that was the first one.
Was it?
That was Green Goblin.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
When she was sitting there doing the Lord's Prayer, and he came in like a freaking Power Ranger. Yeah. But yeah, they just kind of made leaps and bounds with Spider-Man 2 as far as superhero movies go.
Same director? Different director?
Same director.
Okay.
Because that was kind of like the big superhero film that kind of started blowing up the box office, basically.
Yeah.
It was kind of the granddaddy of the MCU.
Spider-Man films still have the most money. Like, out of any other, like, franchise movies go. I
mean, you have, like... Yeah, you have Superman... from 77, you have Batman from 89. They kind of laid the foundation.
Right.
You have the X-Men movies, or the X-Men from 2000. And that kind of took a step up. But Spider-Man 2 is the one that I think really just...
It was a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really made people stop and look and be like, oh, okay, the superhero movies can be a contender.
Right.
For
the box office.
For the box office. Yeah.
Very true. And I actually really liked that. That's why I like Mr. Freeze from DC so much, is you've got these characters that if you develop them correctly, even though they're a villain, they still hold up and you feel for them. Mm-hmm. You're like, wow, they're shutting down his whole, life's work that he's put his sweat, blood, and tears into. And yeah, of course I'd fight back.
Yeah.
Like... I've got these awesome, like, appendage arms things. Yeah, I'm fighting back. But then, like, he still, turns good at the end.
Yeah, and that's been kind of a thing with Doc Ock. A lot of his storylines kind of end up with him turning good at the end there. Well, movies anyway. And TV shows. Comic books, not so much. He was actually quite sinister in the comic books. Yeah, just read Superior Spider-Man.
Or play the Spider-Man video game. Yeah,
I actually watched a walkthrough on that on YouTube. Yeah,
it's great.
It looks really cool.
Right? Especially when you're fighting, like, all of them at once.
Yeah.
It was... Because they've all got their own different, like, fighting styles, so you're having to, like, mix it up the entire time.
Well, believe it or not, this is supposed to be our opening segment. But we now have to get to our Revs and Recs.
Really?
We've gone 49 minutes with this.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah. So, this is kind of a special episode. We'll just get right to our reviews and recommendations here.
Well, I don't know if I would actually recommend this, but
Well, okay, put more in the review category then.
yeah, for sure. I've been watching a lot of the streaming service that DC puts out, DC Universe, and I've been watching some of their shows, but I was just like, all right, I've got to give like Swamp Thing a chance. It's only got one season. How bad can it really be? Like, why did it get canceled? Oh my hell! Like,
You found out why it got canceled?
Yeah, the acting, like visual effects are pretty cool, and I do actually like when Swamp Thing is fighting. And he's he's created his own villain, well, at least a couple of them. What you've basically got is this girl that goes back to this small town that's like on the swamps, that this is their livelihood, and she is trying to figure out what's going on because all these people are getting sick for some reason. Needless to say, it turns out that it's this big company and this big bad dude in town that he's dumping like the excess toxins and stuff into the water that's causing this like chemicals to go awry and getting all these people sick, right?
Yeah.
So she's trying to figure out this the whole entire time, and she's got ties to that family, which I won't give away if anybody ever does decide to want to watch this. But she also encounters this other gentleman, Alec, that he's out on the swamp like constantly and trying to figure this out as well. So he does it more unconventional ways where she's all about like the science and the numbers and doing things by the book. He's more like, let's just like go jump in the swamp and like, figure this stuff out.
The swamp's got to talk to us, man.
Right?
Oh, he's back.
He goes to a place where he shouldn't, and he's like gets in there and ends up getting shot and killed, but falls back into the swamp. Then the swamp kind of embraces him, and he becomes Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So she figures it out pretty quickly. That it's actually him, because there's this little girl that's stuck in the hospital the entire time that she's kind of connected to the whole swamp as well as him. She's kind of his mediator or his voice. He does speak and he does do a pretty decent job with that, but there are so many like stupid tropes in this movie. Like, I've never actually seen the movie, like the TV show, but have you ever heard of, like, you've heard of Dallas, right?
Yes.
That's Dallas. Like, the only thing I've ever known
Dallas.
That's all I know about it is from The Office, like when they're playing that board game.
That's Dallas. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's the only like thing. But it seemed like such like that TV show where you've got these people that are like, they're so one-dimensional and they don't have much more to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the big billionaire that will do whatever it takes to, hush people and to continue his research because they're on the brink of like figuring this out. And then you've got her, she's, she comes back to this small town and there's a police officer that's got the feels for her, and he's kind of finally work up the courage to like ask her out. And then he's like sitting at the bar with her and he's just like, hey, do you recognize this song? But it's been like 20 something years. And she's like, oh yeah, that was the song from our prom. And he's like, do you mind if I have this dance? Like, because I never got to dance with you during prom.
Wow.
Oh, it's horrible. It's cringy. Visually, it's decent. Like, at least they put some money into that budget.
Yeah, I was looking at the images online, and he looks good. I mean, he looks like Swamp Thing.
Right.
So.
It's just the acting that's like...
that's too bad.
That's horrible.
Because Swamp Thing could be a really cool character on screen, because Swamp Thing can be he's like DC Comics Macbeth. He could be it can be a very Shakespearean story.
Right.
Being told, but they just always use him in the dumbest ways.
And it's not like we haven't seen it done well. We saw like the Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Right? Where this woman falls in love with a creature.
Yeah.
Like, it can be done, and it can be done well. And I even liked... the one thing I will give about this TV show is I do like that he's not all that super powerful. Like, in regards to him actually... Because he goes toe-to-toe with this other dude that's, like, got all these, like, bugs and creatures in his mouth. And he... Well, or even when he's a human before he gets transformed into that creature, he's just a dude that he grabs the Swamp Thing and like stabs him a couple of times, and he kind of stumbles back, but then like, you know, he waits a minute as Swamp Thing regenerates, and he's like, "What are you?" You know, it regenerates, and like, why give him time? Like, just keep stabbing the sucker, you know. But like, he's kind of the heart of the swamp where he can be hurt and he's vulnerable, and yeah, he can kind of throw people, but he can only throw them like across the room. It's not like, you know, it's no Hulk where he just like, but the swamp itself is actually the thing that's more powerful because he's able to use these different vines and like rip the dude in parts.
Right, he can literally control the swamp.
Yeah. And he kind of like, and it was kind of cool because he almost had like spider senses that were tingling when he felt a disturbance in the swamp, you know, so then he would quickly appear over there, you know, and he could travel pretty quickly through the swamp. But so that, like, there's so much potential, but they just like butchered it.
It's funny at one of the ending episodes, or the ending episode of Arrow, or one of the ending, they started Arrow or Flash, anyway, they started going on this big diatribe, this big monologue about heroes and stuff like that, and from different universes. And they started showing all the different live action DC properties. And they showed Swamp Thing, and he said something to the effect of, sometimes things end too soon, or or something like that. And they showed Swamp Thing. Like, oh, that's a slap in the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really feel like they are gonna try to revamp it and bring it back eventually, but like let this like abomination kind of, you know, die down.
Yeah, and like I said, Swamp Thing could be a very cool character. He's a character that doesn't appear a lot in the comic books. He kind of appears as needed.
Right. But he could almost be like kind of a Captain Planet, right? Yeah. Like a better Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Because he like, he kind of like is go green and trying to help the environment, and he can feel that like, oh, they're putting chemicals into this swamp, you know.
That'd be an interesting story to have Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing
kind of team up.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Because she could almost like persuade him into, you know, helping her cause out.
Yeah. And could she control him? Because she kind of has power over Fauna?
Ooh, I don't know.
That'd be interesting too.
Yeah.
Kind of have Swamp Thing kind of do her bidding. Yeah. It could be called Swamp and Ivy. Ivy in the Swamp or something like Ivy in the Swamp. Well, that sounds kind of...
Ivy in the Swamp.
Sounds kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Not saying I wouldn't like, read it, but it'd be interesting.
A rose in the swamp kind of a thing, something like that, right? Where she's kind of... Or a thorn in the swamp.
There
maybe.
You go.
Yeah?
There you go.
Yeah. Just spitballing here. DC, call us up.
Yeah, it's got potential. So I actually have a recommendation.
Yes.
Something everybody's watched it at this point. But
almost, I haven't.
Yeah, but the freaking Tiger King.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
This is blowing up. Like, everybody at my work is talking about this, too.
This thing is ridiculous. Like, you watch it and you think, how do people like this exist?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
You feel like it's almost made up, like, to that?
Yeah, okay. Almost, but it's not. That's the crazy thing. All this stuff actually happened. Right. It's all documented. Yeah, you meet this guy's name is Joe Exotic. And he owns this personal zoo in Oklahoma, and he raises tigers and lions.
So this is basically, for people out of the know, isn't this basically just people that own exotic creatures?
That own private zoos.
Okay.
Yeah. And kind of the moral questions of that. But that's not even like...
Because this is filmed as a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not even like the crux of the show.
Yeah.
Like it starts out as that, then it just branches off into a million crazy things.
Wow.
Like all of a sudden there's murder, there's conspiracies, there's drug lords, it's insane. These people are insane, and there's nobody redeemable in this whole thing.
Really?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody you see are deplorable human beings. Every single one of them.
Netflix is really crushing it with these documentaries.
Yeah.
Like as of late.
Just to give you an example of what you're in for, and this it sums up the whole thing. Joe decides that he's going to run for president.
Oh, geez.
Okay?
Yeah.
So his campaign manager that he chooses is the guy who sells him his ammo at Walmart. That sums up the entire show.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long are each one of these episodes? Like an hour?
An hour?
Okay.
I think it's about an hour.
You said there was how many of them?
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. People have described it as a car wreck, which is what it is. Like you can't look away. Like I binged it. I was off last time I was off work. I binged it and just watched it the whole night.
7 episodes. They're about 45 minutes of pop.
There you go. Yeah, it's insane.
You know how like Netflix has this new category now where it's like the top 10.
Yeah,
it's sitting at number 1 out of the top 10.
Of course.
Yeah,
everybody's watching this crazy, insane people.
Yeah,
that you're just like, how does this exist? How does any of this exist? How's any of it happen? And there's something about, I've noticed people that own and raise exotic animals or big cats, there's something wrong with them.
Really?
Yeah. There's a screw loose up there somewhere where they're kind of disconnected from reality.
Oh no, it's just a big lovable. Like I like the idea of small tigers and cats, and like they can be all cool and cuddly, right? But that's a full-grown creature, and you never know, like if it's gonna be just being playful with you, and they've got some strength, right? Yeah, I don't know. There's an episode where in the episode one of his employees gets her arm bitten off. Yeah,
bitten off.
Wow.
And 5 days later, she's back at work.
No way.
Yeah.
With no arm?
Yeah, with no arm.
Does she?
And she does several interviews where she's just sitting there with her little
nub.
Yeah. It's insane. All these people are insane. The people that were filming this were insane. Everybody's insane.
Dang.
Yeah, but I highly recommend it.
I'll probably watch it today.
Yeah, you really should figure out what the heck all these memes are about. And like I told my girlfriend Ashley, who also hasn't seen it.
Yeah,
I said, hurry and watch it before people ruin it with memes and stuff.
Right. See, and that's what I'm so worried about is because I kind of like have to walk away from the conversation because I don't want anything spoiled.
Yeah, and you don't want to, like I said, with the hype train, you don't want to be like, oh, hey, that's just gotten too popular and forget it. Like how Baby Yoda has now been completely ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks a lot, internet. But yeah, watch it. Out of 5 tigers,
yeah,
man, I gotta give it a 5.
Seriously,
I really do.
Wow, it even ends well.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing about any of this ends well. Nothing. That's what's so fascinating about it.
Yeah.
So fascinating about Joe is he's a redneck zookeeper, but he's gay and he has a mullet and he owns a gun and he's in this polygamous relationship with these 2 guys that you think might be actually straight. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Everything's weird. Everything's insane. Watch it.
All right.
All right. Well,
We might have to. I was thinking about this. With like all of because we still want our listeners to get their nerdy fix. So we might have to like throw up these articles because we're gonna find like new ones throughout the week.
yeah.
But we might have to throw up these like on Facebook or whatnot and kind of give our perspective on them.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, these are ones we didn't get to this week, but we still want to get them out there to you.
Yeah.
So. All right. Yeah, this is kind of a unique episode, but that's okay.
Just like that show.
Yeah. Sometimes these episodes happen.
They have a mind of their own.
Yeah. Don't get us talking about movies, apparently, because we'll just go. But here's where you can hear all of our episodes. You can go to worldwarg.podbean.com. You can also go to iTunes, Google Play, and CosmicPotatoNetwork.com. We're also on Facebook.com/WorldWarG Podcast. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can find all of our merchandise at shop.spreadshirt.com/WorldWarG. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. You can also call or text the show anytime at 385-240-1692. And I'm going to put a question out there that I want you guys to call and answer. I came up with a new term.
Yeah.
Quarantine stream.
Okay.
What are you quarantine streaming? Because we're all stuck inside. We're all binge watching stuff. So let us know and let the other people in the World War G universe know what you're quarantine streaming.
I like it.
All right. So give us a call and let us know. So this has been World War G episode 262. That has been Adrian.
That has been Troy.
Stay geeky stay geeky my hands. Stay geeky my friends and wash your hands. That's what I meant to say, not stay geeky my hands. I have very geeky hands.